Former president awaits a verdict. Donald Trump is also preparing for the first presidential debate with President Joe Biden. But as the two major party candidates gear up for their verbal joust, independent candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has filed a federal complaint. He is accusing the campaigns and CNN of keeping him from the debate stage. Correspondent Joe Khalil is live for us in Washington. So, Joe, what else is RFK claiming?
Well, his claims say that what's happening here is actually illegal. It may be a tough sell to make that case, but that is what he says. He's been very clear on his exclusive NewsNation interview here. He says that he thinks the Biden campaign and the Trump campaign are working with the networks hosting the debates to keep him off the stage in an improper way. And it's not just words, Nichole, as you mentioned, he's actually now gone through the steps of filing an official complaint with the FEC, the Federal Election Commission. And his allegation is that CNN colluded with the Trump campaign and the Biden campaign to set their criteria for the debate so high that it was virtually impossible for the RFK campaign to make the debate stage. And again, he argues that that crosses the line into illegal, saying here, quote, evidence leads to the clear conclusion that CNN is making prohibited corporate contributions to both campaigns, and the Biden committee and the Trump committee have accepted these prohibited corporate contributions. Now, we should mention what the debate criteria are that's preventing RFK from getting on the stage. One is that you have to appear on enough states' ballots to actually win 270 electoral votes. Right now, RFK is not on enough ballots to do that. There's still time, but it's an uphill battle. The other one is you got to be getting at least 15% in a number of polls. And right now, he is anywhere from 10 to 13% in most of the legitimate polls that CNN says they respect in their criteria here. So he is not there yet. And he made very clear to our Chris Cuomo in an exclusive exactly how he feels about all this.
We've had lengthy conversations with CNN. They've been very coy about exactly what happened at the Washington, with the criteria. The law says that they can't. They have to use objective criteria and pre-existing criteria. They can't decide on the criteria with the campaigns in order to exclude other campaigns. Otherwise, it's an illegal campaign contribution.
So Donald Trump himself has responded to this on Truth Social, saying here, quote, I don't care if Jr. is in the debate, but right now he is polling so low that he's not properly qualified in the states and seems to be on a downward path. Jr. needs to get more than his name to get on the stage. That is from Donald Trump directly. We reached out to the Biden campaign. They don't have any comments, but the DNC is weighing in, effectively not taking this FEC complaint very seriously at all, Nichole. We should mention that NewsNation polling shows RFK does not have, at this point, a realistic path to win the presidency, but he could, on the margins, take enough support away from both Donald Trump and Joe Biden at this point. It's not exactly clear who he hurts more, and those margins could make a serious difference if the race is as tight as it was 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah, it could make a real difference. Joe, thank you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.